All right, let's get into it on a Wednesday. We've got a lot of ground to cover, and it is going to begin with I'm not addressing JJ's nonsense. I'm not doing it. It's an absurdity, so we'll leave it alone.
But 80%.
Okay. Let's just get into the Lions as we discussed. It's just more appropriate. It's simple, all right? You're either all in with Dan Campbell or you're all out. And here's what I mean. As Rico put it on the show sheet, Dan Campbell. The analytics thing is here to stay. Him violating the analytics is here to stay, which he did from the 7 and he did from the 4, going for 2. Those were negative win expectancy decisions that you don't make when you use analytics as a shield. But Dan Campbell is routinely going to pass on field goals. He's going to fake punts. He's going to go for 2. He is going to do hyper-aggression. So here's what we need to do as we enter the playoffs. Because there's going to be something in that playoff game, or games. There's going to be something in a game you win, and eventually, I don't want this to happen, but it seems to be football destiny. There's going to be a decision by Dan Campbell that we will be able to trace back to why your season ended. So here's my question. Right here, right now. No, don't be Rieger. You can't waffle. You can't flip-flop. You have to accept Dan Campbell for better or for worse, or you're on the other side. You're on the other side that any of the new wave decisions, any of the hyper-aggression, you're against it. Take the points. Let's play D. End of a game. Let's go to overtime. I don't need a fake punt from my own 25. Coach the game. You can keep your new wave math because the math doesn't factor in personnel. It doesn't factor in weather. It doesn't. Guys, all this win expectancy stuff, it doesn't factor in who your quarterback is. It doesn't factor in what defense you're playing. It doesn't factor in where the game is. It doesn't factor in weather. It doesn't factor in injuries.
It doesn't factor in how hot your team is.
It's a simulation. So I want to know right here, right now, as it pertains to Dan Campbell, all in on the analytics, the aggression, or all out. And understand, you don't need to be afraid when you call. You can still like a coach. You could say, guys, I'm just not into the aggression and the analytics. I love him as a coach. I love that these guys play hard for him. And I'm fine with him being the coach here. But I will never come around to the Rambo, bullet chain, Roadhouse, right boot. We're going for 2 and fake punts.
I know what that means now.
Right boot. or you're all in. That even when he does something that by the math is wrong, you're okay with it. That in the name of aggression, in the name of turning the Lions from legendary losers to legendary winners, we're going to put the league on notice. We are going to run the most aggressive operation in all of the National Football League. Teams get no breaks. You think we're punting? Fooled you. You think we're kicking a field goal? Really? We're going. Hey, we're going to go to overtime. Just kidding. We're going to go win the game. Hey, it's 4th and an inch. We're going to drive it right into your garage. So you have to pick. We know the truth lies in the middle. We know as human beings, there's going to be times Rico agrees and disagrees, times that I agree and disagree. But I want to know right here, right now, Dan Campbell, all in on the aggression or all out? 248-539-9797. Now, we go to a man whose team is so privileged and so accomplished, they don't need to lower themselves to such poverty decisions like faking a punt. Oh, that's what poor people do.
They actually did fake a punt, and they got brought back thanks to Ronnie Bell.
Can you just roll with me?
Okay.
But no, my point is, Rico, your team doesn't go for it. Kyle Shanahan does not go for a fourth down, but they don't have to. So I need you to lower yourself with the rest of the bourgeoisie and
the peasants.
Right. So talk to me. Are you all in on Dan Campbell, living with the bad, taking the good, or old school football, I do not recognize nor validate the analytics, and I wish he'd be more responsible?
Well, I had to get helicoptered in here because I was stuck in traffic.
You haven't seen the Stephen A. rant today. You're going to enjoy it.
As much as I would like to say, you know what, you got to quit all of this stuff, Mike, I have to be all in because Dan Campbell / Dan Campbell got you here. He got you to turn this thing around. He has this team now being a team that America cares about, that not just Detroiters are upset over the bad call, but all across the United States. People are like, wait, the Lions got screwed over. Before it was just like, the Lions are cute. Dan Campbell and the aggressive play calling is what's made the Lions who they are. If you go to being something that you're not, I feel like you're going to go back to being the Lions that we don't like to talk about. So as much as I don't like it, I have to say Dan has to keep doing this because this is what got you to this point. Now, yeah, in a perfect world, a little less gamble at some point, be smart about it, live for the next down, live for the next play, live for overtime. But if I have to be all in or all out, I got to go all in.
Okay. David, all in, all out, Dan Campbell. Not the man, Dan Campbell. I think we're all in. They fight for this man. They go to war for this guy. I think they're going to play great this weekend. This is about the hyper-aggression that is always, as Rico's favorite musical artist once put it, we're always back at one. Brian McKnight. It always comes back to a Campbell decision. Yeah. Always. So I just would like to know, David, all in, all out.
I think this is where the Lions have gotten because of Dan Campbell. I think they're here because of his attitude and his mindset. So I'm all in. I am all in. They've done things that they haven't done in 30 years.
I don't want to be.
Just keep doing it.
Yeah.
It's exactly, Rico. I don't want to be. It feels wrong because it doesn't feel like you should gamble this much and you should be that aggressive all the time. But it's worked for this organization.
You know,
it's
David,
worked for this.
Sometimes in life, the things that may feel wrong are actually right.
And that's how this feels. It is actually right.
It's like
so
a team that runs the Wildcat. It's the dumbest play, but for some reason, it works.
All right, I'm going to say this. And for the people in the back, I want to make sure I'm clear, Rico. I have no issue with the man. I think he's done a fabulous job with this team. But when push comes to shove, as much as I like analytics, I think in the NFL, they are the most overdone thing on the planet. That in basketball, I take and make more threes than you. Mathematically speaking, I can work my way around it. Now, it's ruined the sport watchability, but I get it. Analytics in baseball, I fully understand. We care about home runs. Who cares about strikeouts? Launch angle, let's play. Noted. Pitching, we care about velo. We care about strikeouts. Because if you don't put it in play, F fielding. I get it. In football, I am still old school. And what I mean by that is, if it's 4th and 4 on the 39, no, I go for that. I don't consider that analytics. I just would rather go for it on 4th and 4 than a 56-yard field goal. Now, if I had Aubrey, the kid from Dallas, if I had Justin Tucker, do you know what I'm doing on 4th and 4 from the 39? I'm putting an automatic 3 on the board. When I go down there, and if it's 4th and an inch from the 1, I'm going for it. That's not analytics. I'm going. I have the best offensive line. I need less than a yard. I'm going for it. But you know what I'm not doing? The analytics say 4th and goal from the 6 in a 7-3 game in the second quarter. No, I'm going up 10-3. I'm taking 3. Mm-hmm. I am all out on this stuff. Yeah. Because here's the deal. The analytics were both a blessing and a curse. You know what analytics to me end up as? It's a lot like sports betting. That even if you're good at it, you end up basically even. You're just moving mashed potatoes around the table.
No, it's a crutch to me.
Think about it. You fake the punt for 31 yards. Analytics, y'all, a blessing.
Right. Analytics, yeah, but they told me I should do that.
Cutscene, I passed on the points at the end of the drive in the name of analytics. What did I get? So if you're forcing me into this, I will tell you I'm all out on the Dan Campbell personality of Dan Campbell. I love Dan Campbell. I don't like the alter ego Dan Campbell. This is like me, myself, and Irene. I don't like Hank. I don't like Hank. Mean guy. What?
I was just thinking about a scene from that movie when they were in the hotel room.
Oh, the morning after bathroom.
Right. Oh, you had a little fun. Nah,
Well, you know what? When the
that
analytics-
wasn't for me.
Yeah. When the analytics go wrong, it's Hank at the toilet. So let's talk about it. We're all in on the coach. We don't have to like everything a coach does.
True. But that coach and his gambling spirit is what got you to this point.
Okay.
He broke the mold. It's the thing, Mike, if you want something different, you got to do different things. And he did different things. And now the Lions, for the first time in 30 years, they're hosting a playoff game.